Portugal ganhou sem merecer. Que espetáculo. Ia todo contente para casa. E vou.
This was Fernando Santos on the eve of the Euro 2016 final. Well, the Portuguese coach got his wish on the 10th of July 2016 at the Stade de France. Portugal beat France and became the champions of Europe against all odds. However, throughout the tournament, they won their matches in an unconventional way, without playing attacking football and without dominating the games, which have led to many criticizing them and even questioning that did they even deserve to win. So today, we'll revisit Portugal's journey in the Euro 2016 and decide if they really deserve to win the Euros or it was just a fluke. So let's get started. At the start of Euro 2016, most of the fans and pundits felt that Portugal were not serious contenders to win the tournament, and many believed that Portugal had an aging team. Actually, Portugal was 7 favourites to win the European Championship at the odds of 20-1. Portugal were drawn in a group with Hungary, Austria and Iceland. The Portuguese were seen as the strongest team in the group, and it was expected that they would easily top the group and win all 3 games. However, in their first match, the stubborn backline of Iceland stopped Portugal from starting their tournament on a high. Ronaldo struggled to hit his best form in the opening game, and pundits began to suggest that Portugal were a one-man team. The result was a 1-1 draw. In the second game, it was a similar story. Portugal were uninspiring, and their main man Ronaldo continued his slow start to the tournament and missed a crucial penalty against Austria. There was a great deal of pressure on Portugal as they headed into the final group game. Ronaldo appeared to be feeling the strain of not having scored at the tournament, and Portugal needed a minimum of 1 point to progress. However, this time Ronaldo delivered, scoring twice for Portugal and also providing an assist for Nani. The match finished 3-3 and they just qualified. Although they had qualified for the next round, the performance were far from impressive. After finishing third in the group, not many were impressed by Portugal, and they thought that Portugal's end in the tournament might be near. However, Santos understood what tournament football is all about. After being stifled by Iceland and Austria, the lesson was learned in the final group game against Hungary. After the match, one reporter asked Santos whether he was satisfied by the attacking football played by Portugal, leading them to leaking 3 goals. The 61-year-old thought for a moment before praising the journalist for the question. He finally realized his mistake and his mind was made up that day. Never again would Portugal be left so open in defense, and they proceeded to play perfect knockout football from then on. From the round of 16, Portugal opted for a much more defensive approach in the game after learning from the struggles in the group stage. The world was seeing a completely different Portugal side in a matter of days. Croatia was subdued by a deep Portuguese defense and could not manage even a single shot on target in the game. With penalties looming, Portugal were able to find a breakthrough late in extra time when substitute Ricardo Quaresma scored a late header in the 117th minute of extra time. Santos' tactics worked, and Croatia were kept at bay by the Portuguese defenders, and Portugal deservingly went through to the quarterfinals. Actually, Portugal allowed just 1 goal past their defense in the knockout stages. And compared to the group stage performance, it was a huge improvement as they were facing even tougher opponents in the knockout stages. Any team that defends so well, particularly one that can score 5 penalties out of 5 as they did against the Poles, is in with the chance to win the championship. Portugal would win the quarterfinal 5-3 on penalties against Poland, and in doing so, Portugal made history by becoming the first team to reach the last 4 of a European Championship without winning a single game inside 90 minutes. And did you know, Portugal had only been in the lead for 22 minutes in the entirety of the European Championship, whereas Poland exited the tournament without trailing for a single minute of the competition. After beating Wales 2-0 in the semi-final, which would be their first and only match where they would win a match in 90 minutes, Portugal would face a mammoth task of beating France in the final. Portugal would enter the European Championship final for the second time in their history. They were desperate to win their first ever international tournament and make amends for the defeat to Greece in the Euro 2004 final. However, France were heavily tipped for the glory at the start of the tournament and were in formidable form heading into the European Championship final. The form of Antoine Griezmann was crucial to France's success, and he was the tournament's top scorer with 6 goals. Portugal had been heavily reliant on 5-time Ballon d'Or winner Ronaldo throughout the tournament. But tragedy struck when Ronaldo was carried off in tears in 25th minute at Stade de France, 18 minutes after injuring his knee in a clash with Dimitri Payet. This was a huge blow to Portugal. The fans had lost all hope seeing Ronaldo being carried away. It seemed their wait for a major international trophy would not be over that night. However, the firm favourites France were unable to capitalize on Ronaldo's absence as Portugal refused to let their heads drop. With goalkeeper Rui Patricio's heroics and defenders Pepe and Jose Font's outstanding performance, they frustrated France, growing in threat and strength as the final went on. With the game gridlocked after 90 minutes, the game would head to extra time. In doing so, Portugal made history again by becoming the first team to go to extra time 3 times in the same tournament. Portugal had grown into the game during the extra time period, and Rafael Guerreiro hit the bar with a free kick for Portugal after 108 minutes. Moments later, substitute Eder would write his name into Portuguese history with an excellent low drive shot from 25 yards out. The stubborn Portugal defense held on in the closing moment and secured the 2016 Euro glory. The wait was finally over. Portugal lifted a trophy and Ronaldo finally got his hand on an international trophy. The victory in Euro 2016 will undoubtedly go down as the greatest achievement in the history of the Portuguese national team. Portugal showed immense team spirit and endeavour throughout the tournament. On many occasions, Santos' team had to come back from adversity in games. Against Hungary, they had to come back from behind on 3 occasions to make it out of the group stage. Against Poland, they had to come back from an early setback. In the final, Portugal also had to dig deep and prove their quality with the absence of the star man Cristiano Ronaldo. If history really is written by the winners, then let them write of the mental strength of a team that won a semi-final without its best defender Pepe and a final without its best forward Cristiano Ronaldo. So in my opinion, Portugal's win was deserved. But what do you guys think? Was it a deserved win or just a fluke? Let me know in the comments below.